good group indeed. By golly, I'll tell you what, I'm really looking forward to today's action because it gives me an opportunity to sit down beside a guy who is a master at the business and one that I've known for a long time, Gordon Soley. How you doing, Gordon?
Fine, Lance, and real delightful to be here today. I think this merger is really going to bring about some exciting things.
Yeah, I think some of the folks know it, but how about running through the merger so more people will be aware of it, because some people may not have heard about it yet, Gordon.
Okay, well, let's do that then. First of all, let's take a look at what has happened.
There has been a merger of Fred Ward Promotions, Georgia Championship Wrestling from Georgia, Jim Crockett Promotions, and Jerry Jarrett Promotion, which means that Lance and I will be bringing you this program each week, and it's going to bring an influx of more talent, more competitors. I think it's going to just be a great thing for wrestling, and particularly for the wrestling fans.
By golly, just looking at today's program, I think Gordon is a good example of it, because we have some dynamite action coming up here today. We're going to be opening up with Ronnie Garvin, the national heavyweight champion, will be in here in an opening bout, and it'll be our pleasure to see Ronnie in action right there.
Right. Jerry the King Lawler, the national tag team champions, the Hollywood Blondes. Going to be a lot of great action, and I think you, the fans at home and at the arenas, are really going to get some added value out of this because of all the new talent.
I think it is an absolutely magnificent thing, because so often, you know, you hear people from a territory say, well, you know, our people are better, this guy's the greatest champion. Now we're going to get an opportunity to see this influx of talent all over the entire territory.
Precise.
Dynamo, tell you what we better do. We better get it on, because we got a lot to do today. So Gordon and I'll be back with the action coming up in that first one with Ronnie Garvin, the national heavyweight champion, in just a moment. Gordon Soley and Lance Russell at ringside. We're ready to go with the opening bout, which will be one fall, 15 minutes. Introducing first on your left, wrestling out of Memphis, Tennessee, weighing in at 212 pounds. Introducing Pat Hutchinson. His opponent today, wrestling out of Canada, the national heavyweight champion, coming in at 233 pounds. Introducing Ronnie Garvin. Your referee, Jerry Calhoun, and we're about ready to go, Gordon, with the action in this one fall, 15-minute time limit.
There's the bell. Ronnie Garvin moving out, goes in, collar and elbow very quickly on Hutchison. A good waist cinch and a duck under and go behind, and high waist lift takedown, and goes to a front chancery. And so it is Garvin driving Hutchison back into the ropes, and a clean break by the national heavyweight champion, Garvin. They lock up collar and elbow once again. Another duck under, lateral drop and takedown by Garvin. And Mr. Hutchison so far is getting a bit of a wrestling lesson, Rance.
Yeah, Gordon, he's been around a couple of 3 years, and Hutchinson has learned, but certainly not enough to get in there with on an even basis with Ronnie Garvin. Boy, Garvin can do it all.
Go ahead.
Kind of a guy that can get rough to this Garvin when he's inclined to.
He can. He's known as the man with the hands of stone, and he has a tremendous right hand when if somebody wants to pierce six it with him. Right now, full arm drag and twist by Garvin keeps Hutchison under control. And snapmare from that point takes Hutchison back to the canvas, and Garvin inside step over on the arm. An inside step over on the arm. This could be a possible submission hold on Hutchison. Hutchison turning into the ropes now, utilizing those ring ropes, using it as an ally, forces the break. Back on his feet, but that left arm starting to give him some trouble.
Always am interested when people boo a wrestler for doing that, for using the ropes. By golly, I believe if I was under the kind of pain that Hutchinson was, I think I'd be, oh, look at here, Gordon, he's coming back.
Okay, Pat Hutchison ripping across the eyes now of Garvin, and Garvin explodes with the right hand to the top of the head. Another right hand that puts Hutchison to the canvas. And it is Hutchison now in a lot of trouble as Garvin showing exactly what we were talking about earlier. You could hear that one resound all the way across the television sports arena. It's Hutchison back to the canvas again, and Garvin staying in complete dominance here on one Pat Hutchison. Irish whip off the ropes, high backdrop, and Hutchison in a lot of trouble.
He is in a bunch of trouble, and as you call it, when Garvin cut loose with those hands, good night. He blasted him right down to the deck right there. Garvin with him up again. Makes that a right-handed shot one more time. Big elbow.
I mean, now with that elbow then crashing down across the chest. Notice the way he's got the chin in there. And it is all over. It is all over. So the national heavyweight champion, Ronnie Garvin, makes short work indeed of one Pat Hutchison.
Pat wasn't ready for a shot at Ronnie Garvin's title. For a fact, it was a non-title bout, and Garvin coming through with a good victory over it. The action, as you can see, when we look back and see Ronnie Garvin cut loose, he bangs Hutchinson down to the deck, drops with that big elbow in there, and then covers him up, and that's what it takes. A 1, 2, 3, and Hutchinson's had it. You know, Jimmy Hart, I think, is a name that a lot of the wrestling fans know, and they have a lot of different opinions of him. Most of the folks that I know have kind of the same opinion about him. But Jimmy, I wasn't present when he came through with a statement, but Hart had a statement that he's a brand new Jimmy Hart, and he set about to prove it, Gordon. Let's take a look at some of the action that took place there.
We've got Rick Rude going against Phil Hickerson. Want to get it underway right now.
I know it. You've got like you said, you've got a match scheduled, but I went to Phil Hickerson a while ago, and he's in the first family now, and I asked him to step back because there's something that I want to talk about right now. So he's in the back right now, but there's something I want to say. You know, like I said earlier, everywhere I go, I've got these people. I got Wimpbuster T-shirts, Wimpbuster records. My kids go to school all over the city here. The people are calling them sissies. Your daddy's a wimp. He's a coward, you know. And my daddy called me on the phone this week, and he said, you know, son, he said, I just saw you on some of the cable TV, and he said, everywhere you go, the people are making fun of you. He said, you're disgracing the Hart name. He said, you know, when I brought you up, he said, I never told you what to do and where to go, but he said, I'm going to give you some advice right now. He said, sometimes you got to do what a man's got to do. And he...
there comes Rick Rude. Oh, what? It's some kind of vial. Oh, there's another one. Powder going in Rick Rude's face, went right in his eyes. Hart did that immediately.
He said, I know these guys that you're wrestling against are twice your size, but still, it's better to get beat up sometimes than to run and be called a coward and a quitter.
Hart leaping out of the ring. Now holding on to distracting Rude. Look out, Dirty White Boys come in with studded belts wrapped around their fist. Now both the Dirty White Boys and Hart going after Rick Rude. Referee Jerry Calhoun trying to get order restored, but can't do it.
At least I can have self-respect for myself, and my kids can go to school this week, and at least they'll know their daddy had enough guts to crawl into a ring with somebody, and the guy might be twice their size. So no matter what happens, I don't care, because at least I'm going to clear the record with all you people over there that I'm not a wimp or a coward anymore.
Hart with a chair in the ring nails Rude. White Boys, a couple of jars of molasses, and Dr. Detroit with a sack full of feathers. It's tar and feather time here. By the first family, Hart, his bodyguard, Dr. Detroit, and the Dirty White Boys. Rick Rude is loose now. He's head rammed into the ring post over here. Dirty White Boys continue to dish out the punishment to Lawler, Valiant, and Rick Rude. And now they leave after the tar and feathers.
Boy, that was a good time not to be present, Gordon.
I'll tell you what, that has to be one of the most humiliating things in the world to a competitor, and you got to say one thing about Hart. I give him grudging admiration that he has surrounded himself with some of the toughest competitors in the sport.
Yeah, golly, he certainly makes it apparent, too, and he comes out here and he'll tell you, let me tell you that doggone activity continued when it got to the auditorium and Coliseum, too, in a six-man bout that had Bundy joining the Dirty White Boys, and it had, of course, Rick Rude joining Jerry Lawler and handsome Jimmy Valiant. Let's take a look at some of that action.
to Hart. The bodyguard prevents that from happening. Count of 1 on Lawler. Count of 2. A kick out. Look out. Valiant blocks it. Sends the dirty white boy in. Valiant sent him into the table. Valiant grabs a chair and knocked the microphone from us. Tearing up a building here at the Mid-South Coliseum. Valiant blocks it again. Steps the dirty white boy Tony Anthony into the chair. Denton on Lawler. Into the step. Dirty white boy. It's Hart. Lawler had moved. Lawler comes back. The shot goes down. Lawler after Glenn Denton. Valiant with a chair. Sends him in. Mad puts him away with the chair. Lawler saying, calling. Caught Bundy with that chair. The chair goes flying out of the ring. Valiant with a sleeper hold. The bodyguard's hit. Now Lawler has him. Lawler caught the bodyguard. He's vodka hard in the ring. The dirty white boys are rude. Dirty white boys bleeding. Valiant with the sleeper hold. The bodyguard went down again. Lawler trying to get the Hart. He has him. Valiant with the sleeper hold. Hart sent into the ring. Rude in the dirty white boy battle. We can't keep up with it all. The stripping Hart. Pulling his shirt off. Rude after Denton. Yeah, they said they were going to do it. Take his pants off. Valiant said it in an interview. Anthony called. Lawler catches Bundy. Lawler has Hart in the corner. Look at Lawler. Hart. Man, Hart is 160 pounders, and Hart's finally paying his dues from Lawler. Lawler can kill him with the power punches he has. The bodyguard comes up. Lawler's that kill. Knocks the screw out of him. Rude over with Hart. Now, Rude. Hart ducked his Lawler through the fire and hit Rude. Count of 3, 11:27. 11 minutes and 27 seconds. Rude was hit with the Lawler fire.
Well, I'll guarantee you, that's one battle. The war isn't over yet.
You got that right.
Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to be seeing Jerry the King Lawler very, very shortly. And right now, though, we'll just say we'll be back after these words.
As Gordon indicated a moment ago, we got the King coming up here in just a few minutes. We'll be looking forward to seeing that. I just want to say, What a real pleasure it is, Gordon, to be working with you here today, because by golly, we had the opportunity. I came down in your neck of the woods down in Tampa a couple of years ago, and that was a real thrill, and what a delight to have you here today, man.
Well, thank you. I'll tell you what, I've looked forward to coming to the Volunteer State, and flying in this morning, I was really impressed. This is a lovely area. It certainly is.
You missed some terrible weather, too. I'm glad you came.
I heard about that, yeah.
Let me remind you that coming up at 1 o'clock on TV5 today, something very special. It'll be the Breeders' Cup Championship Series. $10 million in prize money, 7 championship races. It'll be on 1 o'clock. That'll be a half hour after championship wrestling is over, with live from Hollywood Park.
Slew of Gold's my pick on that one.
Slew Gold is in there. And look, for a while, that Slew Gold was not going to be in there, but apparently they've got, I saw some kind of a plastic thing on the hoof or something.
Yeah, they found another crack, but they've got that squared away. It should be quite a race.
I'll tell you, a guy that wants to square away a few people. We were talking about Jimmy Hart a little while ago, and that's Rick Rude. Rude had some comments to make about an upcoming match. Let's take a listen.
You know, the minute I heard about this New York street fight match, I jumped at the chance to sign the contract. You see, this match is right up my alley. I spent a lot of years of my life bouncing in bars. As a matter of fact, that's how I got into this business. I had to throw a few wrestlers out of the club, get a little drunk, get a little out of hand. And you know, when you're bouncing in the club, there's no referee there to break up the fight. There's no referee to grab a bottle from somebody. No referee to grab a knife from somebody. You look out for yourself. And that's the way I like it. It's every man for himself. It's survival of the fittest. To tell you what, I take a look at the dirty white boys, and I don't think they're too fit. White boys, the only way to lose this match is to get those clothes peeled right off your hide. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. But don't worry about embarrassment, because you're going to be out cold when I take those clothes off your hide. Now, the embarrassment is going to come to Jimmy Hart. Because, Jimmy, I'm not going to knock you out. I'm just going to slap you up like a little kid. I'm going to peel the clothes off your back. I'm going to tie you up to the ropes. And I'm going to whip the skin right off of that weasel hide of yours. And I might even invite a few fans up from the crowd to get a few licks in on you, Hart. So, Hart, white boys, you be there in Memphis, because I'm going to be there. And I hope you're ready, because I want to be able to beat you for a few minutes before you die on me.
Yeah.
That young
Boy, Rude has a lot of animosity, as you can tell, going against Hart and friends. That's going to be some kind of a bout. Hey, let me tell you about the entire action that's coming up Monday night down at the Mid-South Coliseum. We've got a biggie, and you can get your tickets up until 5 o'clock today, and, of course, all day Monday right at the Coliseum. Super night of action. Is some great talent is going to be in here, and hope you'll be there at 8 o'clock, because, and by the way, no increase in price on this championship wrestling action Monday night. The opening bout will have Jerry Bryant and John King going against the Hollywood Blondes, an opportunity to see them in the Coliseum in action. We'll have them out here before too long. Eddie and Tommy Gilbert will be in a match that I know you want to see. Now, this is going to be a tag coal miner's glove match. Seen a lot of single matches, but not often do we see a coal miner's glove tag match. No time, no disqualification. Can you imagine the kind of head knocking that's going to be going on when the Macho Man and Sir Lanny Poffo get it on with Tommy and Eddie Gilbert? That's a coal miner's glove match. Following that, we will have the first defense of the national heavyweight title right here. Ron Garvin, we saw him a little earlier in today's championship wrestling program, but he was not defending the title. He'll be going against somebody a little bit more qualified than his opponent today, of Pat Hutchinson. This guy's been around. He's held lots of national titles, and we're talking about Phil Hickerson, who will be challenging Ronnie Garvin for the national heavyweight title. New York street fight. I guess Mr. Rick Rude said just about everything he had on his mind about it. Can you picture Rude and Handsome Jimmy going in there against the rugged, dirty white boys? And these guys keep telling you how tough they are in street fighting. You're going to get a chance to see as the New York street fight. They'll go in there clothed. Somebody's going to be coming out unclothed. That'll be coming up with Rude and Valiant against the dirty white boys. And finally, This is one that I just really, in fact, did not think that I would be seeing signed. A Southern heavyweight title match, okay. No time, no disqualification, yeah. But look at this. The King, Jerry Lawler, is going to be putting his hair up against one of the biggest guys in professional wrestling, King Kong Bundy, who will be putting up also the Southern title. Lawler's hair against the Southern title, and the special referee, take note, Rick Rude is the special referee, and we're going to be talking about that a little bit later, I can guarantee you. Monday night, the action comes down right at the Mid-South Coliseum. Looking forward to being out there. Get your tickets today up until 5 o'clock, and we'll be looking forward to Monday, an opportunity for you to pick them up. Right now, we're going to take time out. Be back with the King in just a moment, Gordon. One fall, 15 minutes in time. Introducing first on the left of your screen, wrestling out of parts unknown, coming in at 214, the Invader. The Invader. His opponent today, 234, Memphis, Tennessee, Jerry the King Lawler. Referee is Jerry Calhoun, and we've got a one fall, 15-minute bout coming up. Lawler in a single match, Gordon.
I'll tell you what, I've really admired Lawler over the years in watching him compete. I've watched him early on in his career, as I know, of course, you did, and the man has not only developed into a top-flight professional, but he is perhaps one of the more charismatic competitors in the sport today.
He is indeed that, and I think one of the things, too, that sets Jerry apart from a lot of wrestlers, that's not to say that they're all dumb, but Lawler is one of the smarter wrestlers. He uses his head as much as he does his body, I think, Gordon.
Well, of course, he's in the sport of human chess at its very finest, and the intelligent competitor, more often than not, is going to be the victor in a particular match. The Invader complaining now about Lawler taking unfair advantage, which was not the case. Jerry Calhoun, the referee, double-checking, and now signals for the Invader to move out against Lawler once again. Their collar and elbow. The Invader bullying Lawler back into the far turnbuckle. The Invader trying to catch him into a hip toss. Lawler hooked on those ropes and now retaliates on the Invader. And the Invader finds himself on the canvas, back to his feet. One fall, 15. Again, the referee checking and again responding to the claims of the Invader. Jerry Lawler moves in, collar and elbow. Once again, the Invader bulls him back into the turnbuckle. Lawler caught on the break by the Invader. The Invader using a closed fist, and you can see that fist charging in there. Catching Lawler under the jaw, catching him once again. Lawler that time parried very nicely. Now, 4 left hooks and a right hook that puts the Invader outside the ring. The Invader probably thinking better of things now, realizing that when you want to mix it up with Jerry Lawler, he's ready to go with you. All right. Once again, they square off, collar and elbow, and it is Jerry Lawler scoring effectively there. Lawler brings him up a high vertical suplex on the Invader. And so the Invader, those 26 vertebrae being jarred pretty severely. Again, it's Lawler bringing him up. Another full body slam by Jerry the King Lawler. Lawler drives that fist into the head of the Invader. And now it is Jerry Lawler after the mask. Referee Jerry Calhoun warning Lawler. And so the Invader leaves the ring area. The Invader complaining to the referee. All right, the Invader stepping through those ring ropes back into the ring. Again, they lock up, and it's Lawler being bowled into the turnbuckle. The Invader connects with a hard right hand. He connects with another right hand. Lawler staggered, those eyes rolling slightly as the Invader But now Lawler scores effectively. And so Jerry the King Lawler took a lot of punishment. Hooks one to the midsection, catches one to the side of the jaw. Another roundhouse. That one came from the backyard. And it is the Invader in a lot of trouble coming off the ropes. And Lawler decked him with a hard right hand. Lawler up on that second ring rope. Lawler drives into the head of the Invader. A count of three. A count of three. It is all over for one Invader. The unquestioned victor in this match, scoring an excellent pinfall, was Jerry the King Lawler.
3 minutes and 38 seconds the time on the fall, Gordon, as Lawler dominating. Lawler saying the crowd wants to have that mask pulled off, and he is ready, willing, and certainly able to do it, I can say, if the referee would let him get at it.
He started to go for it earlier, and the referee did put a stop to it, which he should have. It was good officiating on the part of Jerry Calhoun, and certainly an outstanding match on part of the Jerry the King Lawler. And, well, hey, let the station make a little money, and then we'll be back.
Okay, we'll take time out, and we'll be back, and we'll be seeing Brad Armstrong and Tim Horner in action in just a moment. Okay, we're going to be seeing Armstrong and Horner in action in the ring against the Hollywood Blondes coming up in just a moment. And right now, we want to get him out here. Memphis, Tennessee's Jerry the King Lawler. Just wrapped up a big 3-minute and 38-second win over the Invader in there, Jerry. And we wanted to get you out here, but of course, we've got a couple of tapes I'd like for you to take a look and stand with us. Will you do that?
Well, I got a big match coming up, Lance, as you well know, and some people want to talk about it, so I'm willing to listen. I think Bundy had something to say, right?
I've got 2 or 3 questions that I want to ask you about this when we get through listening to Big King Kong Bundy. Right now, here's Bundy.
Well, Lawler, you had your big get-even match. You had the match you wanted. And what happened, punk? That's right, you lost. So instead of being a man, Lawler, and doing something a man would do, instead of being like every other hillbilly and tucking your tail between your legs and going off and biting you a beat, what do? You got the nerve to send those low-life promoters, those stooges of yours, over to ask King Kong Bundy for a Southern heavyweight title match. Well, I'm going to tell you something, Lawler. I don't like to repeat myself, but for a stupid Southerner like you, I'm going to. I'm going to tell you what I told you months ago when I took the Southern heavyweight title. Anytime you want a title match, Lawler, just come to me. Come to me and let me know, and I'll give you a Southern heavyweight title match. And all you have to do, Lawler, the only thing you got to do, the only condition I ask for is that you put up your hair. That's right, Lawler. I want you to put up that slimy, greasy hair of yours, because you know, Lawler, you've been running around telling everybody, every time you get on TV, you talk about this fat slob, King Kong Bundy. This thing, it looks like it's from another world, King Kong Bundy. Well, you've been doing a lot of talking, boy. But let me tell you something. When I get you in the ring, the time for talking is going to be over. And when that match is over, Lawler, you're not going to be Southern heavyweight champion. All you're going to be is a little punk hillbilly with a bald head. And then we're going to see, Lawler, we're going to see who looks like they're from another world. Think about it, Lawler. Think long and hard. It's not too late to get out of this, Lawler. But like I said, if you want a shot at the Southern heavyweight champion, King Kong Bundy, you put up the hair.
I know, Jerry, that Bundy made those stipulations in there. To be perfectly honest with you, I was stunned when you accepted the contract, because I know it's kind of a thing going way back since a long time ago with Dundee. You haven't put your hair up.
Well, that's true, Lance. But the whole thing about it, the way this all came about, Bundy's right about one thing. You know, he's a little smarter than I give him credit for. He realized what I was trying to do, and I'll make no bones about it. I'll tell everybody. I was trying to goad Bundy into a title defense match with all the fat jokes and talk about him looking like a big, you know, cow and that kind of stuff. But it didn't work. I mean, you know, Bundy knew what I was trying to do, and he came back with the stipulation. The only way I was going to get a title match was if I put my hair at stake. And I've said in the past, you know, that there were going to be no more hair matches for me, simply because you just saw Bundy on the interview, and that's what you look like when you get your head shaved, a big goof like him. And nobody wants to look that way, you know, with the exception of maybe Bundy. Now, the way, you know, I realized, though, that was the only way that I was going to get the match. I mean, that was his only stipulation. And with the merger and all of these exciting things that are taking place in the wrestling organization today, I feel like, you know, we got Ron Garvin here, the national champion. We've got Brad Armstrong and Tim Horner, the national tag team champions, that kind of thing. I need that title. It's as simple as that. You know, I've been established as a Southern heavyweight champion, and I've been without the belt now longer than any time in the past, and I need the title back, you know, to remain in world championship contention. And so I realized that that's the only way I'm going to get the title shot, is to put my hair at stake. But I didn't want to take a chance on, you know, it's a lot at stake, a lot riding on this match. So,
really?
So I wanted. He's going to have Hart in his corner, so I wanted a little something to offset that. So I asked for a special referee, and we gave him a list of names and gave Hart a list of names of who we thought would be acceptable special referees, and they approved one man, and that's Rick Rude.
Yeah, I'm still scratching my head on that. I'm going to hear from Rude, too.
All right, after what took place last Monday night, I'm sure that that Hart and Bundy are thinking that you know, I mistakenly hit Rick Rude with the fire. He was upset. He was justifiably so. It was my fault. It was my mistake. I'll be the first to admit it. But I'm sure that they're thinking in their mind that with all of the things that's happened in the past between Rick Rude and myself, and with what happened then last Monday night, that you know, Rude wouldn't have any hesitations about counting my shoulders out, and they're probably hoping that they can get to Rude, or somewhere in the back of his mind, that you know, they can switch his thinking and count me out, get the victory, and have to shave my head. My only regret, I know you got an interview from Rude, my only regret is that he's not here today. And before I finish, let's go ahead and listen to what Rude has to say.
Yeah, let's listen to Rude, because you understand, no time, no disqualification. Lawler's hair is going to be up against the Southern Crown, and Rick Rude is going to be the special referee. Let's see what Rude had to say.
You know, last week in Memphis, my partner Jerry Lawler and I went through a little mishap when some fire happened to land in the wrong place, and I happened to get burned real bad. It costed us the match, and it costed me a few bucks in hospital bills. Now, for some reason, Jimmy Hart wants me to be a special referee in King Kong Bundy's title match. Well, you know, the way I look at it is like this. I know that the King wouldn't lower himself to doing something this hideous on purpose. Well, I think that the King wouldn't do something like this on purpose. But on the other hand, I know that Jimmy Hart and King Kong Bundy attacked me with the chain and beat me half to death on purpose. Well, Jimmy, I know you're real sly, and I don't know what you have in mind, but I can tell you, and I can tell Bundy, and I can tell Jerry Lawler one thing, that the winner of this match is going to be the best man, because I'm going to be in there to make sure the best man wins, and that there's no shifty stuff going on before, during, or after that match.
Well, there's the pronouncement by Rude, of course, that he's going to be straight in there, Jerry. I got a.
All right, there are some comments coming from the people in the audience right now. The first thing that comes to their mind, the first thing that they're saying is, "Don't trust him." Now, let me just say this: I only wish Rick Rude was here today so that I could stand this close to him and look him right in the eyes and try to get a little read on the guy. A lot of the people, a lot of the wrestling fans seem to think that just because two guys team up, just because they're partners, they're the best of friends. Well, nothing can be further from the truth, because you know the past history between Rick Rude and myself, and even though he and I have been partners last week, you know, you can't just throw that. I mean, that stuff is just not disappeared once it goes under the bridge. Now, all I can say is this, and I know Rick Rude will hear these words. If Rick Rude has in his mind, or if between now and then he gets in his mind that he's going to pull something a little shady, or he's going to pull something a little shifty down there, and if by chance it were to cost me my hair, I make you a promise, and Rick Rude, I'll make you a promise, brother,
you'll be a dead man, and I'm not kidding you. I'm not just running my mouth.
Well, Jerry, I approach it with interest, but by golly, I'll tell you, a little fear, too, because you've not only got 460 pounds of it, you got Rude as a special referee, and I'm not sure about Rude yet. I don't have to be. You're the one, so all I can say is good luck to you Monday night.
Well, the good thing about it, Lance, is I'm not sure about him either, so I'm going to be watching not only Rick Rude, but King Kong Bundy both, and I plan on coming out of there with my hair and with my belt.
All right. Good luck to you, Jerry. Okay, it's time to go for the National TV Champs, and we'll go to the ring for more action coming up right now. Okay, we're ready to go now with the action in the ring. This will be a one-fall, 15-minute time limit. Non-title bout entering the ring now on the left of the screen, the Hollywood Blondes. And their opponents today, across the ring, the holders now of the National Tag Championship, Brad Armstrong and Tim Horner, the National TV Tag Champions. Gordon.
Well, I'll tell you, Brad and Tim, of course, have been gunning for that title for some time, and they turned back a tremendous pair here in Rip Rogers and Kent Oates, the Golden Boy. They are, of course, Brenda Britton with them at ringside, as she always is. And again, I would like to repeat to the folks that please do not refer to her when she comes into the arenas as a flea bag. She becomes very offended at that, and I obviously must admonish everyone at this time to not do that, if you get my drift on that.
I hear every bit of it, Gordon.
Waiting now for the bell to ring. One fall, 15-minute time limit. The new National Tag Team Champions, Brad Armstrong and Tim Horner. Brad Armstrong moving out against the Golden Boy. Collar and elbow, and it is the Golden Boy getting the side headlock. Armstrong fires him off the ropes. Crisscrossing the ropes now, Armstrong drops to the canvas. Armstrong, high leapfrog, drops to the canvas once again. Another leapfrog by Armstrong, and it is Armstrong. Cross body block, well executed, but a bit early in the match to look for a pinfall.
He followed it right up, but he didn't let it go at that, and he called it mentally just the way you said it, Gordon. He knew right then and there was not exactly the time to go for that fall.
Jim Horner tagging in now. Horner and Armstrong. Dynamite combination, a well-oiled wrestling machine, no question about it. Even the short arm bar now on the Golden Boy. So the Golden Boy needs to get over, tag up with Rip Rogers, and give himself a much-needed respite. Notice Armstrong getting a chance to, and it's Oates tags up, and so Rogers does move in, and quickly Horner kicks him over the high hip toss, brings him up, full body slam on Rogers. Wing over by Rogers, almost a spin under. Now again the tag is made. Brad Armstrong driving the knee into the biceps and triceps of Rip Rogers. Got four very fast-moving men here, Lance.
Yowza, that's one of the things about it when you don't go into the super heavyweight class. You get not only the big guys, but you get guys with a lot of speed. And in the case of, whoa, look at that, Horner right back up, Gordon.
Three kip-ups in a row, and wow, did he roll on Rip Rogers. Chain wrestling at its very finest makes the tag with Brad Armstrong. And this is exactly why these two young fellows have acquired that National Heavyweight Tag Team Championship. They are a dynamite duo.
And they're exactly what you indicate when you say team, brother. They know how to work together, and it's really a pleasure to see a couple of guys who know when to get in, when to get out, and how to move to augment the other one in the ring. And you're seeing it in Armstrong and Horner.
Good fireman carry takedown by Brad Armstrong now as he tags up with Tim Horner. Yeah, it's interesting. Neither one of them appears to be a team leader. They seem to think as one, almost as if they were brothers. And that, I think, gives them a great advantage.
Yeah, quite often you will find exactly as you pointed out, there will be one leader of it. These two guys really share the burden and share the joys, too, and do, oh, look at here.
Rolling reverse into the, and it's broken up by Rip Rogers, however. And Rogers asking for a timeout. No timeout. You get that in football or baseball or hockey or basketball, but you don't get it in wrestling.
We're at the 3-minute mark with 12 minutes left. A non-title bout, one fall, 15 minutes. Gordon Soley, Lance Russell at ringside, watching some dynamite action between these two exciting tag teams.
Brad Armstrong, second-generation competitor, being caught in the midsection by the Golden Boy 3 times into that abdominal wall. And it is the Golden Boy, an Irish whip, but it's reversed by Armstrong. High backdrop. And Mr. Oates, the Golden Boy, coming up very slowly indeed. Armstrong catches him once again, another full body slam. And now Oates wants timeout.
Yeah. Timeout. Not hardly. Referee Jerry Calhoun saying, let's get it on. And Brad Armstrong waiting, ties it up. Good forearm.
Rogers tied up in those ring ropes, and that could create a problem as Armstrong charged him. He was taking a bit of advantage there. Wait a minute for that top rope. Rip Rogers coming off the top rope onto this concrete floor. And it is Brad Armstrong in a lot of trouble here. Count is on, and it's Rip Rogers quickly trying to seize advantage of that situation, and Armstrong's got himself a lot of problems here. And now it is Ted Oates, the Golden Boy, trying to set him up for a vertical souffle if he can. He brings him up. High vertical souffle. And after that percussion that he took to the back outside the ring, delivered by Rip Rogers, we couldn't say it would be an upset if the Hollywood Blondes were to pin either Brad Armstrong or Tim Horner, because they are certainly an equal team in that respect, having held the National Tag Team Championship. But things do not look good for Armstrong.
I'll tell you, he has been pounded around heavy in the middle of that ring and unable to get over and make the tag. Tim Horner running up and down, trying to excite the crowd and also to get as close as he can to Armstrong for a tag.
Well, the Golden Boy trying to set him. Gut-wrench salto by Ted Oates. And again, that percussion to the back. Brad Armstrong powers out. I'll tell you what, that took some great second effort.
Third of the way through the time, Gordon, now we're just past the 5-minute mark with 10 minutes to go.
Now some quick double teaming before the count on that one. Rip Rogers moves back in, drives the knee into that abdominal wall. Good block. Excellent block again, and then it is Armstrong turning it to his own advantage. Tried to go to a double inside cradle. Tag is made. The Golden Boy moves back in, and the crowd really solidly with Brad Armstrong and Tim Horner.
They're trying to add their voice to the voice of Tim Horner over there and get Brad into action, at least get him over where he can tag Tim Horner. No such luck as the Hollywood Blondes are making a point. And he goes into the ropes. Leapfrog. Again, returned by Armstrong. They're both down.
Both men had the same idea in mind, and so their strategies were identical at the moment, and that caused both men to crash into each other. Both men are down on the canvas. The question of which man is going to recover the fastest. Brad Armstrong needs desperately to get over and tag up. Somersault over, makes the tag. And it's Tim Horner exploding into the ring now. Horner now with hard right hands on both the Golden Boy and Rip Rogers. And, well, they're going to have some headaches when this match is over in more ways than one. Rip Rogers out there still in the ring. And it is Rip Rogers and the Golden Boy. So Jerry Calhoun has got his hands full here trying to get order restored with good counter that time by Tim Horner. Rolling reverse.
Had it working, but of course the Golden Boy came in there and broke it up. Armstrong not in any shape to help him out either, Gordon. He was in there about 2 minutes and 50 seconds by himself taking a pounding, and so Tim is kind of left on it. Here comes Armstrong. He found the energy.
He did indeed. Tremendous second effort here. Horner hurdled from the ring, and now it's the Golden Boy after Brad Armstrong, and it is Rip Rogers and Ted Oates, and they've got And wait a second, the man with the hands that's throwing, Ronnie Garvin, comes in. And so the referee calls for the bell. The referee calls for the bell, obviously with outside. All right, the winners via disqualification would be the team of the Golden Boy, Ted Oates, and Rip Rogers, the Hollywood Blondes, via disqualification.
Okay, it was Ronnie Garvin who was the friend indeed when they were in need and came roaring in there at 8 minutes and 10 seconds into it, and it results in a disqualification. But there's one of those cases where I think, well, you got to weigh the circumstances if he doesn't come in there. So I'm sure that Armstrong and Horner aren't too angry about Ronnie showing up at that time.
Right, it'll show up on their win-loss record as a loss, but as you said, in view of the circumstances, better to come back and fight another day.
By golly, we've got some big action still to go, and we're going to be taking a look at the long riders in just a moment. Right now, we'll take time out and be back. This is the opportunity for us to ask your cooperation, and we're delighted to say that there has been cooperation from the public, and they have been marvelous about finding some of these children. This is our child search part of the program, and in this particular one, we would like to call your attention to Melissa Elaine Watson. Melissa is 13 years of age. She disappeared on September the 24th of this year. She is 5'3". She weighs between 100 and 105, has blonde hair, and Melissa, as we said, has been missing since September the 24th. If you have any information, please take a good look, and please give us a call at 901-528-8400, 901-528-8400. Melissa Elaine Watson, missing child for this particular day. Okay, let's go to Gordon Soley right now.
We were talking earlier, of course, about the merger that's taken place. Two of the principals involved in that merger are with me right now. To my immediate right, Mr. Jerry Jarrett of Jerry Jarrett Promotions. To my immediate left, Ole Anderson of Championship Wrestling from Georgia. And Mr. Jarrett, let me turn to you first, sir. This is the most innovative move in professional wrestling.
Well, thank you, Gordon. Well, first of all, I'm glad to be here with you, and we've admired you for a number of years. As I was talking to Ole about it, we're real happy about it. The analogy that I've told some of the fans in our area is that it's kind of like if you merge the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Dallas Cowboys together. They're both good teams on their own, but together I think they'd be unbeatable. And it's our task to please the people. And we can do that if we bring them the very best talent in the country. And Ole Anderson has a marvelous organization that we're glad to be associated with. We hope he feels the same towards us, and we think it'll be a successful merger.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to a great success with this merger.
Well, you know, when we started, Jerry told me that we had to keep everything short. So I'll agree with everything that Jerry said, and I think that we're going to be able to bring some of the greatest wrestling that the people have ever seen in the history of wrestling to areas all over the country, and of course, we're looking forward to it.
I'll tell you what, of course, we're also talking about such men as Ric Flair, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Jerry the King Lawler moving around. It's going to be a lot of exciting times upcoming, and right now, let's turn it back to my good friend Lance Russell and see what's up next.
Kelly, Gordon, I'll tell you, one of the teams, too, that I think we'll be seeing some of, and that is the Long Riders. I know a lot of you have heard about them. Let's take a look at the Long Riders in action. Bill and Scott Irwin, the Long Riders, in there, a team that I'm sure we'll be seeing in the near future.
Yeah, they're in that big $100,000 tag team tournament upcoming.
Boy, who isn't? And
really.
Everybody looking for that big dough coming up, Gordon, and I don't blame them one bit. You know, sometimes you and I both know that you get beyond the stage of wrestling and it becomes a Pier 6 or whatever, and it's just simply a brawl. There was one that took place that involved the Macho Man, Randy Savage, and his brother, Sir Lanny Poffo, going against Tommy and Eddie Gilbert, and, brother, they exchanged it all. Let's take a look at some of that action.
As Randy Savage really busted open. Has a chair. Come on, Eddie. Oh. Hickerson lost the match. Hickerson's back in the dressing room, into the table. Man, vicious punishment. Eddie Gilbert's going to pay for that, knowing Savage. I hope Lanny's coming back here. I hear the crowd. Here he is. Lanny saying, what in the world? Here comes Lanny Savage. Lanny Pop. And he's going after Eddie Gilbert. Here comes Hart, Jimmy Hart Jr. Come on, Hart. And Tommy Gilbert. Next match, that's scheduled. As Gilbert has entered the ring. Okay. This match is underway. Lanny's going to get a 3 count. No, a sunset flip. Goodness gracious. All right. Randy's really in trouble. Crowd hot. Lanny leaps across flying press. Tommy, and it's 2 against 1. There's no doubt about that. Savage is out of it. Oh, come on. Gilbert saying, tell him that we're never, come on, man. And Lanny reverses it. He's battling. Here comes Gilbert. Grabs Savage. That's something. But Savage sends Tommy into the ring post. That move by Eddie Gilbert, I believe he calls it the hot shot. Mayhem. Man. Savage has his hand out to tag his brother. Another right hand. Lanny blocking it. Blocks it again. Can he make the tag? He did. Yes, sir. Randy Savage. Look at him go. Sends them together. Elbow. Randy goes after Tommy Gilbert. Lanny and Randy. Double Keenan. Lanny and Gilbert on the floor. Savage pops him down. Now Randy going after Hart. Tommy throws Eddie something. What is it? I can't tell. Tommy throws it out to Hart. That's it.
Okay, we're going to be back in the ring here in just a moment as we got a tag match that'll have Tommy and Eddie Gilbert. I'm standing here with Sir Lanny Poffo, and here comes brother Randy Savage.
That's right, Lance. There's one thing I've learned, and that's expect the unexpected, and I learned that from the Gilberts, and that's why I'm ready to wrestle, even though I'm not scheduled to. I'm watching Randy's back in case there's any trouble.
All right, Gully, I'll tell you, here's a guy who, speaking of unexpected, the Macho Man, right up.
Gonna be training at getting sky high, yeah. I'm training in a different way because they're going to have a big high pole, and they got a big loaded glove at the top of the pole. And you know what I could do with that loaded glove, Lance Russell, to you? No, I'm not going to do it to you. I'm not going to do it to these people. Gordon Soley, you're safe. Just sit there right now. But the Gilberts, they're not safe. No, they're not. They're not safe at all. Yeah, I've been climbing high buildings, Some haven't been high enough, so I've been jumping down. Yeah, like a kid. But I'm ready, and we're going to be ready. And it's no time limit, no disqualification. It's a coal miner's match, and I got my ladder, and I'm going to go get me a bigger ladder, because I like high places.
Whoa, there's no question. He can get up that pole, and you'll see him in that coal miner's glove match in action in there, and the Gilberts will be the ones on the receiving end when he starts throwing it. There he goes, the Macho Man, Randy Savage, and brother Sir Lanny Papa. Okay, we want to take a look at the action coming up out of town. As a matter of fact, tonight, some action going in Holly Springs, Mississippi at Russ College down there. Tickets on sale at the gym. An opportunity for you to pick them up. Get on in there and watch some really great action going tonight. Russ College, Holly Springs, Mississippi. Tuesday night, November the 13th, Union City will be hosting championship wrestling again at the Union City High School, sponsored by the Boosters Club. Hey, you can save $1 by getting your tickets in advance, and by golly, that's no bad deal. Union City, Tuesday, November the 3rd. Friday, November the 16th, Malden, Missouri. Back into Missouri Boot Heel, and the action will begin at 7:30 with some pretty outstanding names. You'll be seeing the big Russian Kurchenko, who will be up there. Tickets are on sale at the school. Get it? That's on 16th, Friday, Malden, Missouri. Saturday the 17th, West Helena, Arkansas at the National Guard Armory. Remember, the bell time is 7:30, and you're going to have an opportunity to see Jimmy Hart and some of the First Family over there, among others, in West Helena on the 17th. Thursday, what happens in Jackson, Tennessee at the Coliseum on Thanksgiving Day? Always one of the super matches of any year comes up, and this is no exception. The 22nd on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, 8 p.m. is the bell time at the Jackson Coliseum. 2-ring Triple Chance Battle Royal. 19 men will be in there, and $5,000 going down to the winner of it. Let's take a look at some of the names that will be involved in that action. In addition to that, how about a tar and feather match right there in the Jackson Coliseum, Thanksgiving Day? Be looking forward to having you and your family get out there. Get your tickets. I'm sure the box office will be opened up at noontime. Friday, November the 23rd, New Albany, Mississippi, at the BF Ford Gymnasium. The action comes into New Albany. Saturday the 24th, Jonesboro, Arkansas. The King will be over there. You can get your tickets in advance for that particular one. This is Jonesboro, Arkansas we're talking about, at Ford Meacham's Jewelry, where they have the advance tickets. The King will be right there. And on Monday, November the 26th, Boonville, Mississippi, Northeast Junior College. Tickets on sale at the Chicken Hut, my friend. And we'll be looking forward to you folks turning out in Boonville as usual. Also on Friday, December the 7th in Blytheville, Arkansas, December the 7th in Batesville, Mississippi, and on December the 14th in Brownsville, Tennessee. Those are action dates coming up for championship wrestling. You folks in this area, please make it a point to come on out. You'll enjoy it with you and the entire family there. Well, Jimmy Hart.
I bet you thought you finally made it through a day without me. Listen, that call me Wilp. You ain't going to mess me up today. Have you met my new bodyguard, Jimmy Jr., right here, baby? Huh?
I see. Oh, okay.
You know what? I see Gordon Soley over there. I love Gordon Soley. I told you 3 months ago, baby, there's going to be some changes. Your job may be in jeopardy, Russell.
Jimmy, let me
I've been so busy. I just flew in from Atlanta, Georgia. Tonight I'm flying to Nashville, Tennessee. But, you know, we've got some big matches. You know, Ronnie Garvin's up here. You know, we ran him out of Georgia. Now he's coming to Tennessee. Let me tell you something, hands of paper. You're going to be facing Phil Hickerson, main man of the First Family, and we're going to come away with that National Heavyweight Championship belt. Right, guys? Right, baby?
Lance, first of all, I got to say something. There's a lot of things. The King's been out here saying stuff today. You know, a lot of people overlook hot stuff sometimes, and I'm bringing up the international belt. You know what I'm talking about. Don't ever overlook me. I've done proven that fact. Right, now, what I want to ask today is, Tommy Rich is not with us anymore because I ran him out of the area. Dutch Mantell is not here anymore because I ran him out of the area. Then along came Lanny Poffo. I beat him. Then last week what I did, I went in the ring and I beat Randy Savage. Then what he did, he got his eyes all red and teary-eyed and he ran to Eddie Marlin. Now here comes the story. When there was a tag team here that was probably one of the greatest tag teams of all time, named Tommy Gilbert and Eddie Marlin, right?
That's true.
And in that tag team, there were a lot of matches called coal miner's glove matches, where you take the big pole and you put the glove up there. And in those tag team matches, it never failed that Tommy Gilbert climbed that pole and he got that glove and he knocked everybody out. He is the master of coal miner glove matches. He has never lost. So, Master, you tell them what we're going to do to the Popo family.
Lance, what we have done to them already is just a sample. So, Savage and Popo, you want to be blood brothers? We'll take you down and mix your blood together, guys. Just like some mixer, man. I'm telling you, we will twist it together.
Okay, well, that's all said right here. The action takes place in the Coliseum. That's what you're going to have to see. We're going to take time out, and we'll be back with more action in just a moment. Okay, we're ready to go with our big expiration of time match. This one will go until our time is up, and the team with the most falls will be the winner. Introducing on the right-hand side of your screen, out of Memphis, Tennessee, the team of Jerry Bryant and Keith Eric. Eric and Bryant. Their opponents going against a well-oiled father-son team. We're talking about Tommy and Eddie Gilbert. And, of course, in the corner, Jimmy Hart and Jimmy Jr., his bodyguard. Referee, Jerry Calhoun, and we're about ready for the action to get underway in this expiration of time, Gordon.
Yeah, this is the most unusual feature, of course, that with the television time remaining, the team winning the most falls, of course, wins the match. And
Jerry Bryant going against Eddie Gilbert as we open up in there, and his partner Keith Eric will be trying to see what they can do with the Gilberts.
Well, a good spin unders. Young fellow's got it together, no question about that.
No, Eddie, since he's become hot stuff, Eddie Gilbert, known Eddie all of his life, and Tommy, a good part of his wrestling life in there. We have our differences of opinion, but I don't think that makes me any different than a lot of other people noticing the attitude of the Gilberts recently. Gilbert, he caught him with a forearm, referee indicating he in fact did, not the fist. There's the tag to Tommy Gilbert. Boy, and Tommy looking good. I hadn't seen Tommy in quite some time until a little while back, and Tommy looking really good. He got him with a forearm, hit him with a forearm uppercut there just a moment ago.
Well, you know, it's interesting, too, Lance, that in wrestling, unlike other sports, you do see father and son tag team combinations.
Jerry Bryant won. Got a 1 count.
Near pin for him. This young fella, Bryant, is a very impressive competitor.
Jerry is a good young wrestler. He kind of took a hiatus from his career for a little while and has started back into it. And right now, I wish he was still on the hiatus. That's the way that Gilbert's double-teamed him. Tommy, point of the foot right in the midsection. Referee worried about getting Eddie back to the corner. Elbow drops down. We're a couple of minutes into the action, first fall of this expiration of time match. And in this particular one, Keith Eric now enters the ring for the first time as Keith, another young wrestler out of Memphis, Tennessee, makes his home. I think Lawler's national attention probably spawned a lot of wrestlers in the Memphis area. It's interesting how that will happen when a 2 count, when somebody comes particularly well known. He got the 3 count. I didn't hear but 2 in there. My ears must have missed it. So.
And the Gilberts getting in some cheap shots after the bell and during the bell. And they're ignoring the situation now. And just going after and punishing Keith Eric. Jimmy Hart in the ring now. Ooh.
Gilbert driving that head down, and now with a chair. The referee having no success at all in getting him stopped. Tommy Gilbert kicks Jerry Bryant back down to the ring floor again. Now the referee manhandled, and that should bring about a fine for young Mr. Gilbert. as at least the unnecessary brawling with Keith Eric, pounding on him with the chair and everything else, over with. Time on that first fall, 2 minutes and 44 seconds. We, in fact, will take time out. Be back with Gordon in just a moment. Gilbert's ended up in 244 with the first fall victory. Whether we're going to have any more time for it in just a moment, I don't know. Right now, we're going to take time out for a word from Coleco. Okay, we're going to take just a second here to remind you of the action coming up Monday night down at the Coliseum. 8 o'clock is bell time. Tickets on sale all day today up until 5 o'clock all day on Monday. You're going to be seeing some sensational bouts, including the Hollywood Blondes against Jerry Bryant, John King. Eddie and Tommy Gilbert in a coal miners glove match against Randy Savage, Serlani Popo. National tag team title match when Ronnie Garvin will be defending against Big Phil Hickerson. Following that, a New York street fight when Handsome Jimmy and Rick Rude will be going against the Dirty White Boys. That'll be a dandy. And then the final match, Lawler's Hair against the Southern Heavyweight title. King Kong Bundy the opponent and the special referee, Rick Rude. That's Monday night, bell time, 8 o'clock. Let's go to Gordon Soley.
Well, thank you, Lance. With me right now is the National Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, Ronnie Garvin. The man is known as the man with the hands of stone, and we saw earlier that if somebody decides they want to pierce sixes, you're ready.
Well, I could do it both. I can wrestle and I can fight, whichever they want.
Then you're most accommodating, I found out.
That's right, Gordon. I like to say it's a pleasure to be here. I like to say hello to all wrestling fans. It's a real pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to the competition.
Let me ask you this, Ronnie. Because of this merger, is that going to put an increased burden on you as National Heavyweight Champion?
I don't think so, Gordon. I'd say no, because everywhere I wrestle, doesn't matter which promoter in the country I got to wrestle for. Tough competition is all over the country. West Coast, East Coast, the South, the North, it's all over. It's tough everywhere.
There's no question about that. And I know, of course, that you've been watching very carefully, too, the big $100,000 tag team tournament that's upcoming, and a lot of exciting things going on throughout the entire country.
Well, money is what makes the world go around, and big prices will make people do a lot of things for money, and $100,000 is a lot of money, and especially in tag team combinations. And I think with the merger, with all this big competition around, I'm ready for it. I'm glad I'm right in the middle of it. I'm the National Heavyweight Champion, and I'm very proud of it.
Well, of course, you've received some challenges from this area, and so you're going to be here defending your title.
That's right. I've got challenges. Phil Hickerson is one of them. I understand he's a very tough man. He's got a similar style as I have. He doesn't ask for a quarter, doesn't give one, and that's my policy. That's the way I believe. Go in the ring and do your talking in the ring, which is wrestling. That's the only way you can prove who the best man is a square circle.
Well, there's certainly no question about that. One thing I thought we might get across to some of the folks who are watching right now is that you stay on a pretty doggone intensive training regimen.
Well, being the champion, I have to double train. Really, I spend 4 or 5 hours a day whenever I can. I'll say 4 or 5 days a week, and just train hard. Because, like I say, you got a lot of people. It's like being a gunslinger, a gunfighter. You got a reputation. Everybody's after you. Everybody's gunning for you. And big ones, small ones, fast ones, you name it, mean ones. There's a lot of mean ones. People will do anything for money, try to break an arm or a leg, put you out of commission. But I'm ready for it.
Fair enough. There you have it, the National Heavyweight Champion, Ronnie Garvin, the man with the hands of stone. And our time is just about gone for this week. So let's turn it over back to Lance Russell. Lance, that's it from my side of the ring.
Okay, Gordon, we appreciate it. And, Ronnie, good luck to you in that battle with Phil Hickerson in there. That's going to be an exciting one because he's going to be throwing a lot of big, heavy action. Listen, let me remind you that the Jerry Lawler Show, 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, he will have on the Lawler Show the national tag champions, Brad Armstrong and Tim Horan. It'll be an interesting interview. Also, he's going to be announcing the winner of that favorite NFL team, and that is going to be the one that will be accompanying Jerry to Atlanta in that big action right out there. Well, we had an exciting day today with Ronnie Garvin winning his bout over Pat Hutchinson. Jerry Lawler came out victorious over the Invader. In addition to that, the Hollywood Blondes by disqualification over Brad Armstrong and Tim Horner, and Eddie and Tommy Gilbert came out victorious in their one fall with the team of Jerry Bryant and Keith Eric. It's been a real pleasure to have Gordon Soley with us today, and we'll look forward to all of the wrestling fans being back with us again next week. when we'll have more of the exciting action of championship wrestling. For Gordon Soley, Lance Russell saying bye-bye, everybody.